Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today it's time to talk to Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's in the house, and we're excited. We've been talking about this subject that I just find fascinating, and we are on part two. I'm going to let her introduce that, but I want you to know you may want to get out a pencil and paper because this is good stuff, babe. Oh, okay. So let's get this party started. Good morning, Coach. What do
Good
you
morning,
have for us?
Jerry. Well, last week we started off with talking about stepping into your power and jumping on that power pod. And we had a good workout week talking about it, guys. If you didn't catch that episode, go back and listen. Give it a listen.
Mm-hmm.
Take some notes. And today we're talking about living in the now. So we went on that pod. We know what we got to do. We got to live in the now. Most of us humans to live in the now because the past keep revisiting us and presenting itself, and then we hear all the stuff on the internet streets and we want to step into the future so badly, so we miss the now, we miss what's happening right here and now, and
Mm-hmm.
how to just enjoy it, good, bad, and in between, because all those different things is truly what's going to help you when you do step into the future, have a
Mm-hmm.
better future. So, guys, let's say this. Let's do that, okay? So, what do you? So, what I mean by living in the now, just taking the day as the day, whatever is happening that day, and if it's a bad situation, I want you to take a pause and breathe, okay? I want you to find out if it's the worst thing that ever happened. And sometimes it is the truth. It is the worst thing that you could happen. Maybe it's you got news that you're getting laid off, or you get the paper in your hand, or you jump up late to get to work, or you miss an appointment with your personal trainer, or a doctor's appointment, you showed up late. No matter how this is looking, I want you to take deep breaths. Now, let's talk about the other part, because that's the part where everybody's familiar with and knows. And that's the part where everybody feels like, okay, I can deal with it. Let's talk about this part that nobody talks about a lot. The part where your day is going really good. You're enjoying the day. Things are working smoothly. And you're in this disbelief that this is happening to you, and you share it with somebody and they doesn't help keep the pumping going, they bring you flat on their face because they might be in the bad day phase that we just discussed, right? And they now don't know how to support you while they are feeling down and in the dump. Okay. And so now you want to live in the now, but you're like, but nobody cares about it. Guys, this is why your power pad is so great. Jump on it and just be there every single time. If you need to talk to two or three people, I encourage you not to, by the way, right away. I personally want to tell you this. If you are having the best day ever and you're in disbelief, I don't want you to call anybody. I want you to just stay and enjoy that moment as much as possible, and severe it with, just enjoy it with a glass of water, milk, juice, whatever is your beverage choice, but to spend an half an hour to an hour and just doing so. And once that time has passed, I want you to sit with yourself and go through a couple of things. If nobody celebrates with me, I'll be okay. If they celebrate with me, I'll be great. And if they say anything that tries to bring me down from this specific feeling, I will go and find it again and celebrate all over again. Please do this stuff, because this is part of life and what you get from for close friends and family. Not everybody is able to celebrate. It's not because they don't want to celebrate you. They're not able to celebrate if they're not in the place themselves of celebration, of being grateful. So it could be a hardship on their path, and they don't directly not want to, but they haven't allowed themselves to understand that you can celebrate somebody while you're not able to celebrate yourself, because in celebrating another person, it's tend to rub off over you, and all of a sudden you can find some little tiny bit to celebrate on. But it's hard for us humans.
let me come in here. Coach, I you said a mouthful there about the fact that many times others are not able to celebrate with us because they're not in a positive space for themselves. And so, because they are not there, they can't be enthusiastic or supportive in a happy, emotional way so that we can celebrate together.
Exactly.
And sometimes that may come off to us as jealousy. What do
Hmm.
you think about that?
And it could be part of that because I experienced that the other day and I had to go through the processes. That's why I always say us humans, because I'm not immune to the situation, you know. And when I feel jealousy of something, I ask myself, am I jealous? Am I
Mm,
annoyed or frustrated with myself? Like, what emotion am I feeling? That's the other thing. If it's you, you can do it. You can't ask somebody else to do that because maybe they're not ready yet. But for the person, and any one of us could feel jealous for, it could be the simplest of things. We don't know when the emotion is going to strike. That's why we have to understand ourselves so well, because then
mm,
we'll know if it's jealousy or just frustration. Because sometimes you're not jealous, but we're frustrated because we had set a timeline, we're not there yet, and we are looking at somebody who hasn't done as much work as us, we feel, and now they've gotten there for some reason before us. That's our thinking. We don't
mhm,
even understand that they got a whole bunch of stuff that they haven't sorted yet, but in the front view it looked like they've gotten there before us.
mm, mhm,
They've reached this pinnacle that we've been striving for, and now how are we going to live up to getting there because they're there? Almost like if they're at their pinnacle, we can't get to ours. There's no such thing, but that feelings might come into you, and if it's you that's happening to you, then you have to find out. And if you're jealous, then just sit in it. I'm jealous because da 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 da. Write it down.
mhm,
And why, and sit in the motion and then move yourself out of the motion by asking more questions. Get out to the motion. I'm frustrated. Why? Because I haven't reached here yet, because I thought I was going to get there last year, because on my 50, 60, 40 at 30th birthday I expected to do X, Y, and Z, and she is 25 and doing it, or she or he is 40 and doing it, and I did it at 50. Even if I'd done it already, I'm still mad that I did it 10 years later. Like, ask those questions, get there, answer them, and then move on. Matter of fact, if it's you, you can apologize to the person, even if they don't know, and say to them, if you're brave enough, you can say, I was jealous about what you just called and told me, you know, because X, Y, and Z. Or you can write it down for yourself with the person's name so that next time this feeling appear with another friend or even the same person, you're able to say, oh, this is what I'm feeling. All right. All
mhm.
right. I understand now, but I'm not going to give it any, you know, validity. I'm just going to feel it, move on from it very quickly, and I'm going to praise the person, myself. Because this is a human thing to think that you would never feel jealous. I used to think so when I was silly in my 20s. I'm like, I can't jealous anybody because I'm doing so great. And then I did go through a jealous spurt. I wanted to be in the police force. I wasn't able to do it. And I was jealous of my best friend that he got in the force. And he's like, he
Mhm.
came back, and 2 weeks later, he's off the train. He's like, Karen, you're missing nothing. I'm glad you didn't get in. This place is terrible. Like, they're doing so many, you know. He's like, I'm glad you didn't get in. So as a girl, I'm happy you weren't in there.
Mm,
I was mad and upset, and I was doing great, but I was still mad for that specific thing because I wanted to be a police officer. Because my
uh,
dad was a police officer, so I had this idea that I wanted to be a police officer.
mhm.
And so we could be anything that we're jealous for somebody. It don't always have to be money. So if you're feeling that for you, but you can't tell somebody unless they're ready.
Yes.
You can't make anybody unless they're ready. Please save your energy and stop trying if they're not ready.
Mm,
You can lay the idea, you can drop hints, you can let them know, but you can't wait and hoping that they'll do it, even if it's our children.
yes.
One of the hardest lessons I had to learn: spouse, children, mother, siblings, cousins. You just have to just say, I had to come up with this. I'm going to give my advice to the people that's paying me and leave the people that is not paying me no advice unless they ask me. And I
Mhm,
want to know when they ask me specifically, what do you want me to do? Do you looking
mhm.
for advice? Do you want me to listen? Do you want me to give you a recommendation? And if they're like, I don't know, I said, okay, sit with it. And when you know, get back to me. Because I used to be giving away information that people didn't want and wasn't ready for.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of times people are not ready.
They
And
might never be ready, and that's okay. Or they might hear it from somebody else and come back and tell you.
I know, isn't that fascinating? Like, really? I told you this 15 years ago, but it's okay.
I just have
I
to listen
just,
and nod and smile and say, okay, I wasn't supposed to be your deliverer. Like I wasn't supposed to deliver it to you. So I'm okay
mhm.
that that was my responsibility. So I'll just,
Evidently, I'm the wrong messenger. So, yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh
And I
my
have to
gosh.
acknowledge that. I am not your mess. I am not the one to bring you the messages you need. Somebody else got to.
Wow.
My role is different for you and I. And so that's it. And
Mhm.
some people will quietly use my advice, tell me nothing, and then I know it's my advice that they're using, and they'll present it back to me as though, mhm.
Mhm.
Okay,
I hear you.
okay. So you got to live now. So you need to do you. You can't, you can want, but please do not expect it. Very few people are able to celebrate you in the true, honest sense. Very, very few people are able to do it. Okay, guys? All right. You got to live in the now. So if you aren't living the now, if you aren't, what are you supposed to do about it? Well, you're going to have to start small because you haven't learned how. So you're going to have to start very small. Get back on your PowerPoint and find out from yourself. This is a self examination time.
Mm,
Find out from yourself how you can live now, meaning you can just celebrate having the greatest breakfast ever. Okay. And you prepared it or you buy it. I'm not judging. You decide. You can live in your best moment right now by getting up and doing the workout that you think you can do, going for
mm,
a walk, writing the program that you wanted to write and think that nobody cared about it. That's fine. You still need to write it. And here is why you need to do it now, even if it's not finished, even if it's just a framework. Because even if you can sell it now, it is out of you. Some things are to be done because it need to come out of the way to make room for the thing that you truly have to do. You
mhm,
can get to that thing that you truly have to do sometimes, not every time, until you get rid of the crappy thing that you so desperately want to do. It might be the best thing ever that you think you must do. But once you do that and that's out of the way, then it make room for this other thing that you're supposed to birth. And here's why. You bring in lessons over from the thing that didn't work out. So stop fretting yourself. If you create a program, you wanted to create, you made t-shirts, okay, you made shoes, whatever you did and it didn't work out. I want you to go back and get the lessons from those and use the ones that is needed for this new venture so that you can stand in that power.
mm,
You can
mhm,
reminisce, but you can't go there. You can't whine. You can't feel in pity for yourself because all it do is pull you away from the thing that you need to do. And when you're doing what you need to do, you truly stand in your power. You truly do. You know, I watch a lot of DIYers on YouTube and they'll start off doing like 100 different things. And then eventually they realize that their powerhouse is in 5 to 8 items. And
mm,
once they're able to say, hey, I'm going to have a sale, I'm going to sell all the mugs, I'm going to sell all the hoodies, I'm going to sell all the bags, because that's not what I love anymore. That's not what I really love. But I was afraid to say, all I love is making car coasters, or all I love to do is making stickers, or all I want to do is make bookmarks. And although these are smaller items, this is where my niche, this is where I stand fully in my power. And when I am doing so, I could do anything.
mm.
And
I
that
love it.
person can do anything because they believe they can do anything. They're standing in that power right now and they're saying, hey, all my store is going to sell is 6 items. I might add more later, but it's going to sell 6 items. And in those 6 items, I'm going to do the greatest thing I can do. And I'm going to speak for myself on that. You know, when I first started doing food, because that's when my business started, I had 2 items. And those 2 items net me the most money. I add on along the way, but I had 2 big items in the snack world that created my wealth, $10,000 to $12,000 a month. And then I had my baking genre that brought me another $2,000 to $5,000 a month. And those were just 2 main items. Like the rest sell, but these 2 main items can close my eyes. At the end
Mhm,
of the week, I know I'm gonna have $1,000, $2,000 in my pocket. And that is net, guys, not revenue. That is after expense and everything. I will have that in my pocket. So
Mhm.
sometimes for you to stand in your power, you go through this realm of things and you clear the way for the powerhouse. You clear the way for the powerhouse. But to get to the powerhouse is where all the failures are, where all the mistakes you feel. But it's really lessons learning. It's not failure. And then you get to do that. And then you get to be there. And if you want to live right now, you have to constantly do it. Every day is a fresh day. You know, people don't like Mondays, but Mondays to me are the best day
I
of the week.
know.
Love Monday.
How do we get to the weekend if you can't go through Monday? I don't understand the
Understand that.
rationale.
Yeah, I love Mondays because there's this fresh start. There's people that's excited. There's people who don't want to come back to work, but we're not looking at those people. We're looking at people who want to come back, who's excited to be there, who's excited to start a new week because they're expecting new things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you understand that right here and right now is all you have, no matter what else you want, you can enjoy right here, right now.
Amazing. I love this whole thing of live in the now.
Yes, yes. It's one of those, the ones that people argue about, but it's where we need to live. All right, so let's get to number 3. So, what are your this one here? I love telling my clients. What are your 5 to 7 must-haves? Are you and are you meeting them? Are you meeting the things that you? And if you have none, maybe you want to start at 1 to 3. But if you have recognized, because this is the other part I want to say to you, if you have recognized, you're probably 5 to 7. But if you have nothing, it probably start 1 to 3. There's this 1 to 3 things that you know that you can do and feel great about. And it doesn't have to be anything that's going to produce you money, but the side effect is the money, you know. And sometimes that's the thing you have to think about. The side effect is the money. So you might have the 1 to 3 things that you're doing it. You're like, but I don't bring me money. I don't get any, I get satisfaction from it. I love it. I want to do it, but it don't bring me money. Well, how are you approaching it and how are you doing it? Because let's get money into this conversation. If you're in business, you're selling to make money. And if you're not selling, you're not making money. So you might be doing things that you love, but you're not setting up yourself to sell any of them. And so you're going to have to sell. You're going to get in that power space of sales and marketing. Okay. That's a place you need to be. You might not like it, but you have to sell. If not, you're going to have to hire a sales rep, which means you're going to have to go work for more money to pay the sales rep. And it doesn't matter how great a sales rep is, he or she still want to know about your business. So you need to know and be your powerhouse so you can have the conversation. You can't hire somebody to sell something that you don't know how to sell in terms of the benefits, in terms of how it's going to solve a problem, in terms of how it's going to help somebody. If you don't know those things, your sales rep can't come in and know it. She or he can do a good job, but could they do their best job? You're not giving them the ability to do it. So that's why I always advise people. I said, you have to want to know. And it's okay if you can't sell to a big number at once. Just one person. Just one person. And I go back to, if you are not sure, most of us create things that we want. And the you that wanted it yesterday, you can invite her in and talk to her about what she needed and give it to her. And that's the person you're selling to, the people who were you yesterday, the people who wanted what you wanted yesterday, and you made it possible for you today. I'm a problem solver. I realize that I've been planning for years. I'm also a visualizer, and I
Mhm.
do that since I was young, but I didn't know it had a term. One this morning, I was talking to my mom in the kitchen. I was telling her, I said, before I knew it was a thing, I've been doing this since I was about 10 or 11. I taking home economic classes.
Mhm.
And we had a one burner. Now I could say this, but those days I used to be so ashamed to tell anybody. We had a one burner stove, Terry, and it's kerosene oil fueled, and there's no oven to sit on it, right? And after class, we had a class, and they were teaching us to bake cakes, sponge cake at the time. And our teacher said, now, class, when you go home, you're going to ask your mom for butter and eggs, and you're going to go home and practice. And we had a recipe. And I knew that there's no way I'm going to be able to go home and practice to bake a cake. And at the end of the class, she said, because we're going to be writing a test when you come back next week.
Mm.
And I said, my God, help your daughter. And as I walk home, I start thinking, how am I going to do this? Because there's nowhere to go. And I remember sitting on the stairs and I literally read the recipe and I went through each process of cake making in my head. And then I literally look up and just watch myself in the kitchen, at the school kitchen, at the sink, at the stove, going through all the steps and how I'm going to bake the cake. Now, we were supposed to be in partnership, and so two people were going to do the work. And so I knew what my partner was going to do, and I knew what I was going to do. And I focused on what I was going to do, but there was this thought in my mind that maybe I need to figure out how to bake the whole cake. And thank God, because I start doing my partner section and my section, and these guys are all in my mind. This is my mind eyes walking me through step by step.
Mm.
I got to class, and I kept doing it for a couple of days. I got to class the exam day, and when I got there, my teacher informed me that we each are going to bake our own cakes. We're not partnering up. We had 1 hour. Terry, I probably was soaked with water. I feel like I was standing in a pool of water with a sweat. Not really, but I felt that way. And I said, Caren, remember we did it before. I know it wasn't physical, but we did it in our mind eyes. I mixed my cake, baked my cake, washed all my dishes, cleaned my station, and finished before everybody else. And got an A, guys.
Congratulations.
Literally.
Oh,
I was shocked for myself.
wow.
I was shocked. I told my teacher after, she goes, so you didn't practice baking the cake? I said, no. She said, you know, you have one of the best cakes. I said, no, but I went through my mind on a regular basis. Every now and then I would see myself in the kitchen. I would see the butter, I would see the eggs, and I would just go through the motion. I tell you this, guys, because when you're standing in your power, when you start realizing how powerful you are and what you can do, your excuses melt away. Nothing that is happening to you right now can stop you from what you want to achieve, where you want to get to. Everything is possible.
Wow.
It's beyond what you can imagine possible. You get there and you got to clap for you. You got to clap for you because everything was against you in the sense of the physicality of it, right? And it goes for business owners too. You know, you might want to start a business, but you might know how. My course, the Vision Board of Possibilities, is like that. It helps you to tap into your desires. It helps you to see where you want to be. It helps you to sit down with yourself, pen and paper, clip outs, whatever, and you just watch you where you want to be. And then I give you steps to live into this, the thing that you want to do. And if you take it seriously and you do it regularly, you will look back and you will watch you be really surprised, because even though I've done it several times, every time it comes to pass, I'm always like, look at you, girl.
Wow.
Look at you, girl. So when I tell you can step into your power, I seriously mean it and know it. And that means the things I'm talking about and money-wise. You got to want to know. You have to want to be there. Sorry. You have to know that you truly is worthy of being there. And then you go to work doing it. If you spend yourself doubting you, it's very hard for money to flow towards you. It's very hard. I mean, this is why a lot of people went and get a job, because at least when I do the work, I'm going to be paid. At least once I work, I'm going to be paid. But over time, don't you find you get bored and you still want to quit? Because you're not putting in you. Go to work. I tell people that all the time who says, kind of want to quit my job. I said, no, that's a wrong approach. Go to your work. You mightn't love it, but go to work and start liking your job and do a good job where you're being paid to do a good job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then before you leave for work or after work on you and then the business you want to create. And life will make a 360 so fast. Give yourself 1 year. I know 30 days, 90 days. Give yourself a whole year to get out of the frame of mind for the first 30 days. 60 days, liking your job, doing everything that you know going to make your job better. Not complaining about your coworkers, your boss,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And don't ask for a raise. Don't ask for more money. No, just do the job you went to do. Allow the raise to come if it's supposed to. And the reason I don't like people ask for a raise because it gets you comfortable if you want to leave in asking for more money to stay and finding new excuses to stay. That's what
Mm-hmm.
happens. If you really truly want to leave, you do the things where you got to do, and you see an exit point, and you work towards that exit point and getting there.
Mm.
If you want more money, build up enough skills to leave and get a new job to get more money, because the
I
same
like
problems is going to be there for you because you haven't solved them.
I like that. I'm sorry. I like that idea. Build up enough skills to move on.
Mhm.
It just makes sense. And otherwise, you're still there begging for a raise.
Mhm. Begging and waiting and hoping for a raise, and it gets you get more resentful. You're frustrated.
And
You're too
time is
tired when you
passing.
come home to do anything extra for yourself. You
Yes.
don't even have a hobby, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, time is passing. You're mentally exhausted from
Hmm.
the frustration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it makes
Every
sense.
time I see people, I want to like would say stuff, but I knew right the language. I so my eyes and brain is so trained that certain language I don't even entertain and answer for the person because I see where they are, and I know they're not ready for the reality of what is necessary to turn.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody say I need help, but dot dot dot, they don't want help.
Wow. Well, Coach, will there be a part three to this? Because I
Mhm.
am really engaged in this
Yeah.
conversation. I'm just like, wow. Okay, stepping into your power. You
Yes.
need to live in the now.
Hmm.
You need to know what your five things are you want. What is that?
Yeah,
What are your
five to
must
seven.
have?
Yeah, you must have. You 5 to 7, you must have. But if you're a starter, it might be 1 to 3. But if you're
Mm.
in it already, 5 to 7, and stick with it. Because remember, guys, things gonna come. Other things are gonna come, and
Mhm.
want to pull you away. But when you know, and you know that you know that you know, those other things will not sway you anymore.
Wow.
Will not push you anymore. It's like if you bought a car and you understood that you bought two cars with the money you spent on the one car, then you wouldn't
Mhm.
let that happen again. So no excuses will make you go buy the car. Or if you had an old car that you pour a lot of money into, you'll never buy such an old car again because you know how much it costs you to have that car. So
Mhm.
then you won't do that again. So the same goes for you. What do you know that you know? You don't get pulled away. So if you know you want to be a coach, don't listen to everybody who says coaching is not good anymore. The market is saturated. Nobody, no. What kind of coach you want to be, and you go after that. But do the work because being a coach is not easy. Being
No.
a coach is a lot of, you take on a lot of other people's energies. We do a lot of work behind the scenes, and we got sometimes we have to let go of clients who doesn't want to do the work because we're gonna make you do some work because it's for you. If I did all the work for you, you still haven't grown or done anything for yourself. And that's not how it works. That's how life works. So coaching is not just come in, coach some people, make a bunch of money, and say, oh, well, no, it's way more than that. So everything that you want to do is going to take a piece out of you. You need to understand that. And if you have to give up some part of something to get something. That's how life
Wow.
works.
Well, Coach, we just want to remind everybody that if they're looking to connect with you, that they can connect with you through your Facebook page or
Mhm.
through your um, what is your other site? I know I have
Instagram,
one.
you can go page Facebook, join the group, Instagram, you can send me a DM, you can
Here's
book a session with me.
here's
Um,
the link to book a
yep,
session, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
Because we want you to get your life together so that you can bring profits in daily.
Daily, and this is
Daily.
possible. There's so many people quietly making money on a regular basis, guys. They're not in starvation land, no matter what you're hearing.
So remember that BizChicks is here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle.
Mm-hmm.
You can join BizChicks by texting Biz to 33777, or you can go to our website at bizchicks.net. And we would love for you to become a part of our community because we want to be able to share with others what it is you do and how you do it. So,
Yes.
with that, we say we'll see you here tomorrow. We'll be talking with Robin Shimizu, talking happy, healthy habits.
Yes.
Because if you don't have your health, you can't keep your wealth. Have a
Yes.
great day, everyone. And thank you again, Coach, for
Oh, you're
all
welcome.
you do. Bye bye.